How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and today we are continuing with my collection showcase. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these videos, been a little busy, but I still have a lot of awesome stuff to show off, and today we are getting back into the swing of it with a huge part of my collection. This is my English PSA graded EX series collection. So this is the biggest current goal that I'm working on. It's been a little difficult over the past year or so with the price rises, where cards have gone up quite a bit. But I am still getting there. I'm currently about 48% of the way there to a complete PSA graded English EX series set in PSA 9 or 10. I have a couple cards that are in 8s that will need to be upgraded eventually, that are still included in this video, but I still count them towards my collection currently. So this has been an amazing pursuit for me, and this is the first time that I've shown all of these cards off at the same time. So I'm really excited. I don't have these are organized in terms of grade, not in terms of set. So we might be bouncing around a little, but this is just the way I have it organized in my collection. Anyway, so without any further ado, let's crack into it, and let's not waste any time. Let's start out with the PSA 10s. So the first card, Gardevoir EX from EX Sandstorm. I graded this one myself. It was incredible. I did not expect this to get a 10. I thought there was the tiniest bit of wear, but it did still come back with the PSA 10 grade, and it is a beautiful card. I just thought that there was like at the tiniest print line that would bring it down to a 9. But thankfully it did score the 10 grade, and oh my goodness, this is a beautiful, beautiful card. So getting that in a 10 was just mind-blowing. Another Sandstorm card, Raichu EX here. I think I bought this last year, just as things were starting to really, or as things, there was kind of a little bit of a lull in like September of last year, so I picked this card up then for a great price. I was really happy with the price I paid for it. And yeah, just a beautiful card, Raichu EX. Love that artwork, just beautiful. And I'm not going to be showing off my Japanese EX in this collection series. I do have a full video series showing off all of my PSA 10 Japanese EX cards. I'll link that up in the iCards. There's a big one. Lugia EX, EX Unseen Forces, Gem Mint 10. This was one of the EX cards that I bought first when I was getting into this. My philosophy when I start a new collection project is to try to get the biggest cards first. So for me, that was Lugia and Charizard. So I was successful on the Lugia, and I guess you'll find out later in the video if I was successful on the Charizard. But yeah, this Lugia EX, fantastic. Again, like getting this card in a 10 was just kind of mind-blowing when I finally got it in, having idolized that card as a kid. Kingdra EX from EX Dragon, very hard to follow up Lugia, but again, this Kingdra, I love the E-Series border. Incredibly difficult to grade, it's super easy to scratch and stuff, but yeah, this Kingdra EX from EX Dragon is just beautiful. Another EX Dragon card here, Golem EX. I believe both of these cards, the Kingdra and the, yeah, you can kind of see they were graded in the same submission. So these two both came from my good friend Millhouse on E4. So I'm very thankful to him for selling these cards to me. I think that was, goodness, yeah, some point early in maybe mid-2020, I want to say. Here's Registeel EX from EX Hidden Legends. I love the shard hollow pattern on this card. Truly beautiful. I think the only one I'm missing out of the shard hollow Reggies is the Reggie Rock. Another Hidden Legends card here, Vileplume EX. Again, pretty hard to follow up those, the Registeel, but you know, when you're going after all 139 English EXs, you do have to pick up some of the less exciting ones. So there's Vileplume EX. Into some Fire Red Leaf Green cards with Electrode EX. Again, another one that, you know, still very cool, don't get me wrong, beautiful Electrode. Probably if I was not going after the full set, I would not have picked up too many of these cards, or too many of the sort of lesser cards. Mr. Mime EX, EX Fire Red Leaf Green, the odds version, Gem Mint 10. I think I picked this up from PWCC middle of last year, probably. Very nice. Here are some big ones. Venusaur EX, just fantastic. This I graded myself and it's just incredible. I think I bought this from Old School Pokemon Raw and then graded it a 10. Just amazing. Here's the big one. Here's the big boy. Charizard EX, Gem Mint 10. I was successful in picking up the Charizard EX. Yeah, it's kind of surprising how sort of what I perceived to be the biggest cards back in 2019 when I started this set are not necessarily the biggest cards now. But I mean, you know, I just sort of perceived Charizard and Lugia biggest. Obviously, there's like Milotic and some of the other lower population ones, which are technically more expensive and stuff. But you know, that is largely driven by the set collectors, the people who want all three, or all 139. Speaking of all three, there's the Blastoise EX from EX Fire Red Leaf Green, Gem Mint 10, and if that is not a thumbnail, I don't know what is. That is fantastic. So I'm going to be spoiled for choice for thumbnails for this video, but continuing on, Politoed EX from EX Unseen Forces, fantastic. I picked this up from So Far Away, I believe, on eBay, E4, Twitter. I think he streams as well, so go check him out. Here's some more amazing cards. Rocket's Snorlax EX, another one I graded myself. Just fantastic. Another one that I got from Old School Pokemon. I definitely owe Old School Pokemon a beer or two or three at the next event when I finally see him again. But yeah, Rocket Scizor EX, another one that came from Old School Pokemon, graded myself. He had a full huge collection. I was able to go through it at Worlds 2019 and pick out the cards I wanted based on condition, and I did pretty well. I got about 30% PSA 10s on the stuff that I picked out, which is fairly standard for English. Latios EX from EX Dragon Frontiers, just a beautiful card. I picked this up, I want to say, in late 2019. Yeah, this was one of the first ones I picked up when I was getting back. I love Latios EX. I've had several copies of it in my collection at various points. Always been one of my favorite cards. This is arguably my favorite card in my collection. My Kyogre EX from EX Hidden Legends, Gem Mint 10. I pulled this card myself. It is the only EX card that I've ever pulled. I will link the video in the iCards if you want to go watch me pull this card. I did post the video on YouTube. Just incredible. So this card, no matter what happens with my Pokemon, with this set with Pokemon, this card is never leaving my possession. I was lucky enough to grade a second one, so do have that duplicate. Again, I have no reason to sell any duplicates of English EX cards. They are so hard to find. Salamence EX, this is my favorite card ever. This is my favorite Pokemon card, Salamence EX, Delta Species from EX Dragon Frontiers. I picked this up many, many years ago, also from Millhouse, so big thanks to him again for selling me this card. And yeah, this is just truly, like, this is a really strong 10. I'm super happy with it. No print lines. Dragon Frontiers is plagued by them. But yeah, this card is ridiculously clean. And again, like, this is another perfect thumbnail option right here. If I do decide to go with that. Again, that is my most loved Pokemon card illustration of all time. Not necessarily that specific card being my favorite, but that card in general is my favorite of all time. Bayonet EX from EX Legend Maker. Very nice. Again, the holo patterns on these EX cards are just fantastic. This is another one I graded myself. I believe that one came from Alec Pokemon. Got it raw from him. Regice EX. Beautiful, beautiful shard holo. I love these in English and Japanese. They are just incredible. Altaria EX from EX Emerald. EX Emerald, a very difficult to grade set, and I was lucky enough to grab the Altaria in a 10 from that set as well. Here's another big one, Mew EX from EX Legend Maker. This I was pretty hostile on. I pulled a full Facebook scumbag move. Someone listed it for sale on Facebook, and I think they listed it for sale for like a lot less than it was worth. And you know, people, I of course didn't pay them less than it was worth. I told them it was worth a lot more. But I did buy it out from someone. I said he said, oh, there's someone who's going to give me this. I said, oh, well, I'll give you much more than that. So I did pull a little bit of a scumbag move by buying it out from someone. But I would say giving someone fair market value for their card is not necessarily totally a scumbag move. But yeah, this Mew is just beautiful. Look at those hollow eyes, incredible. And I was really happy I paid fair market value for this Mew at the time back in early 2020 because it is worth a lot more now. All right. Here are some more beauties from Fire Red Leaf Green. These have to go together. Another fantastic thumbnail option. We have Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno EX, the Shard Hollow Birds. These are kind of, I think I traded for the Zapdos. I paid like 110, I want to say, for maybe the Articuno in early 2020, and then the Moltres, I passed on it at 100, I passed on it at 120, 160, 200, and then I had to pay like 350 or something for this card. But now I have it in my collection, and that's really all that matters, is that I have that card, and I love it. All right. Gengar EX, another huge EX card from Fire Red Leaf Green. Really happy I picked this one up as well. It is just incredible. Man, the lighting I have here really pops that holo, and it is amazing. And last but certainly not least of the 10s. Check that out. Rayquaza EX, EX Deoxys, Gem Mint 10. This certainly one of the biggest cards that I've ever graded myself. I don't know what the value of this is these days. I don't track it too carefully, but I think this is a very expensive EX card. Very, very nice. All right, so that does it for the 10s. I have a lot of 10s, but I've basically been priced out of 10s now. Probably, you know, maybe I'll only get a few more EX 10s as I work towards this goal. But you know, there's always the possibility of upgrading at any time in the future, selling off a 9 if I do eventually come into some more money. And yeah, it certainly does suck getting priced out of 10s. It is not fun. And even priced out of 9s. But you just gotta roll with the punches. You gotta work with what you're given. So now let's get into the 9s. Flareon EX Delta Species. And usually these mint 9s are like really high quality. As many people have mentioned, the difference between a 9 and a 10 are really not that significant. Beautiful Flareon EX from EX Delta Species. Delta Species is, I think, maybe one of the few sets, if not the only set, that I've actually completed. Probably because there are only 3 EX cards in it. Mr. Mime EX from Fire Red Leaf Green, mint 9. Probably overpaid for this on PWCC. But I'm really close to finishing Fire Red Leaf Green. I think the only card I need now is the Gyarados. And I've been looking for a good price on that, but it is pretty difficult to find. Jirachi EX from EX Crystal Guardians. Beautiful, beautiful card. I think I got this from my good friend Hisoka107. I've bought many, many cards from him over the years. Meganium EX. Unseen Forces. I think I have all of the Unseen Forces starters. I think they're all in 9s. Should be coming up at some point. Scizor EX, Unseen Forces. Unseen Forces is a huge set. I think, pretty close to completing that set as well. There are a couple cards I need. I think I need the Ho-Oh. I need the Tyranitar. I think I have that off at PSA right now. I will have to, I don't know everything off the top of my head. I have a spreadsheet with everything. Medicham EX, EX Emerald. Very, very nice card there. Little off center, I think that's why it got knocked down to the 9 grade, but still very nice. Here's a card I recently graded myself, PSA 8 Flygon EX. And yeah, eventually I probably will upgrade these 8s, but I'm fine with sort of having 8s as placeholders in my collection for the time being. Like, if I get an 8, I'm probably not going to actively search for a 9 or something. Normally I won't buy 8s, but if I get them when I'm grading or something, I'm happy to keep them in the collection. And yeah, they're certainly like lower priorities. I do try to only get 9s and 10s, but if a card comes up and I grade it and it gets an 8, I'm not gonna, not count it as part of my collection for the time being. Rocket's Moltres EX, PSA 9. Rocket's EX cards, been going after them in 9s as they are quite expensive. There are a couple I might want to get in a 10, the Rocket's Mewtwo. I think that's like a huge card. So getting that in a 10 might be pretty nice. Here's a Dragonite EX from EX Dragon Frontiers. Love this card. This also has no print lines. Just beautiful. So yeah, I really, really like that card. Here is a big one, Umbreon EX from EX Unseen Forces, near mint to mint 8. This card is one that I basically got priced. I got priced out of the 10. I got priced out of the 9, and then I was just like, oh man, I'll just buy an 8 as again, like a placeholder. This is one of the few 8s I've actually bought. And I was very glad I did, because then 8s became super expensive. This is a crazy, crazy card. In the future, I probably would like to upgrade it to a 9. But this is a really clean 8. I'll show you the back here. Like this, I think the issue might be like some hollow scratching on the front or something. But yeah, this is really clean. It presents super well. I have no like crazy desire to upgrade that card right now. Here's a beautiful, beautiful card, Espeon EX Mint 9. Fantastic. This was one I was able to get in a 9 before I was priced out too much. hopefully maybe the prices will come down a little bit in the future, and I will be able to upgrade some of these cards, pick up more. It's also just like a prioritizing thing on my part. Here's a 8 Espeon I graded myself. Pretty nice. But yeah, it is also like a prioritizing thing on my part. Basically right now, like spending my money, spending like multiple hundreds of dollars for an EX9, it just like doesn't feel right to me. So who knows, I might continue to get priced out of these cards as the value goes up, or the value might go down, and I might be able to come back in. Eventually I will do it. Just feels like right now I have better places to put my money. Other collection goals that I want to work on. But I think maybe in the new year, I'll really start refocusing on this. Here's a beautiful Magma versus Aqua Raikou EX. This is just incredible. I love this card. Really, really strong 9. I think this was another one that I pulled out of the collection that Old School Pokemon had. Groudon EX, Crystal Guardians, truly beautiful. I love the different styles in these EX cards, you know, from the different E-Series borders, from the different art styles, from the CG to the hand-drawn. It's just fantastic. Yeah, EX era is certainly my favorite era of all time. Whoops, sorry, I meant EX socks, don't buy it. Right. Just want to make that clear. Okay. Sceptile EX and EX Crystal Guardians. I think this is another one I graded myself. Very, very nice. The first Delta Species EX card. Shifter EX from Power Keepers. Pretty nice here. I always get this one and the Crystal Guardian Shifter EX confused. They're both dark type. They have a very similar pose. It's kind of confusing. Credilli EX from EX Team Magma versus Team Aqua. This is one of the few cards that survived. I think it was 2018. I basically like purged the few graded EX cards I had, thinking that English was going to be too difficult for me, and to really focus on Japanese. But this Credilli survived. I think I paid $14 for it back in 2015, 2014. But yeah, it stayed with me ever since. So always good to have those long-term cards that have really been in your collection for a while. Salamence EX from EX Power Keepers. Truly a fantastic card. This was another one that came out of the collection that Old School Pokemon had, and man, that is just beautiful. That holo pops so much. It really pops even better in Japanese. Definitely go check out my video on the World Champions pack to see that card in Japanese. Claydol EX from EX Power Keepers. Power Keepers is probably one of the most printed EX era sets, so I'm fine with 9s on these cards. 10s on them. I think the Power Keepers, they used to be really cheap. Now they're a lot more expensive. So I'm fine with 9s. Just sort of having that memory baked in of like Power Keepers 10s being $60 to $80 all day long is kind of holds me back from paying multiple hundreds of dollars for them today. Crobat EX from EX Deoxys. EX Deoxys EX is notoriously hard to grade. Yeah, I think that's like a little thing between the sleeve and the case, I think. But for Alligator EX, so I was right. Yeah, I think the Typhlosion's still in there somewhere. But for Alligator EX, Unseen Forces, Mint 9. Very, very nice. This is another super strong 9, I think. Really not much on the back at all. For most things, I'm not really one for resubmitting. Maybe eventually I'll go back and say, there are a couple cards in here that I think might be worthy of upgrading. Check out that swirl on Deoxys there, right next to its head. That's pretty nice. This is another one that I think I did grade this myself. but I've had it for a very long time. EX Emerald Deoxys EX, the speed form version, PSA 8, very, very nice. That is quite the big card in the 10. I think PWCC recently sold one for 2,300 in a 10, so that's quite the card. Regirock EX from EX Emerald, again, sort of proving Emerald very difficult to grade, but very happy to get this Regirock in a 9. English version of a Japanese play promo. Here's a truly beautiful card, Rocket Suicune EX in the Mint 9. Just incredible. This was certainly another big one that I wanted to get out of the way early, and I was able to do it. So very, very nice. Next up, Typhlosion EX from Unseen Forces, Mint 9. Got this back, I want to say, in the... I think most of the cards you're going to see now, yeah, like this Camera Up DX. Very happy this one came back with a 9. The 10 is like near impossible to grade. Again, Emerald, very difficult set to grade. But was really happy with this card coming back as a 9. A lot of these cards went off in a PSA submission that I got back, I want to say in May of this year. Rocket Zapdos EX, Mint 9. I think this card is maybe on the lower end of a 9. It's a little off center and it has some hollow scratches. I was not expecting a 9 on it. Was kind of surprised when it did come back with that grade. So I guess it goes to show, grading is subjective. You can have cards that you think will get 9s and they'll get 10s. You have cards that you think will get 8s, they'll get 9s. You have cards that you think will get 10s, they'll get 9s. Typhlosion EX from EX Sandstorm, Mint 9. Very, very nice on that. Steelix EX from Unseen Forces. Look at that hollow, just incredible. This is another one that's very difficult to get in a 10 grade, so really, really happy to have it in the 9. And we are coming down the home stretch here. Not too many cards left. Dusclops EX from Emerald in a 9. Yeah, as you can see, most of the cards from Emerald, those are in 9s. Most of the Unseen Forces, those are in 9s. Fire Red Leaf Green is really kind of like the only big set that I've really gone hard after in 10s. And everything else is just sort of, I've been lucky with grading and stuff. Latias EX from EX Dragon Frontiers. This is another very strong 9. No print line. I think there's like the tiniest little print line above the S in Latias. And it does go down below the Psychic Energy. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, still a very, very nice card. Here are the remaining 2. I probably should have put those together, all 3 of them together. But here are the remaining 2 Eeveelution EXs from EX Delta Species, Vaporeon and Jolteon in Mint 9s. So I do have all the Eeveelution EXs. I think those were pretty important to get early on. Blissey EX, Mint 9. Very, very nice there. This card I had as a kid. It was super played, but I love it. It had 160 HP, which was huge. And I love that. So, Blissey EX, Mint 9. I think we only have like 4 cards left, but we'll finish it out strong, especially with this Crystal Guardians Swampert. I love this card. I do like it more than the Magma versus Aqua Swampert. Yeah, just really, really nice. Love the pose, love the green background. Ryo Ueda artwork always kills it. Another Rockets, Team Rocket Returns EX. Rockets Articuno EX. Got really lucky with this one. I found it on like Politoed for a steal. I didn't even know Politoed sold graded cards, but then I found this and I'm like, wow, all right, well, I'll buy that. I think this was mid-2020 as well. Clefable EX from Fire Red Leaf Green. Very, very nice. One of the first cards I bought when I was priced out of EX10s. I think I remember one PWCC night. Yeah, it was these two. I was just watching the 10 prices go up, and I was like, man, I am not going to be able to do this. And like these 9s were still available for like 35 bucks or something. So I went out and bought them immediately, just like, all right, we're going in. We're readjusting the goals here. And I'm glad I did, because I was able to, when like that happened in mid 2020, when I adjusted my goals down from all 10s to 10s and 9s, I was able to jump on a lot of 9s and get them for great prices before things really took off. Prime example of that is this Suicune EX, and this is the final card to show off. Boy, are we ending it with a bang. Truly beautiful. So yeah, I was able to pick up a lot of cards in 9s for great prices after I readjusted my collection goals. If I'd held out on 10s, I might have a few more PSA 10s, but I would have a much less fulfilling collection for me. So I guess that's kind of the message I'll sign off with, is that if you are getting priced out of goals, if things are becoming hard for you, and I did a video on this earlier as well, just sort of when this stuff was happening, is, don't be afraid to change your goals. Don't be afraid to accept sort of different types of cards than you might be used to. And it will usually end up in you having a more fulfilling collection. So I hope you all enjoyed the showcase of all of these cards. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.